Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. This is your host and Santosh, and I welcome you to your channel Alpha Global. So, friends, today we have gotten one more interesting topic. The topic is to how to issue bonus shares under the Companies Act 2013. So, in case if you are already aware of it, good enough. But in case if you are not aware of it, let's learn what is the bonus issue, when it is will be issued, what are the governing sections, the key highlights, as well as the procedural aspects. Right. So let us get started. So just to quickly let you know that bonus shares is governed under the Companies Act 2013 under section 63, and also it is read with rule 14 of Companies and Share Capital Debentures rules. Yes, it is also subject to articles of association of company, because articles of association should have a clause on issue of bonus shares. So let us get started. What is bonus issue? Well, you may be already aware of it, but just let me explain to you in simple layman's language. Bonus issue is nothing but where a company intends to give some free share of a stock, existing stock, to its existing shareholders in a way that the shareholders will be rewarded from the company's perspective, but at the same time there will be no cash outflow from the company. So this is a very good way where companies who wants to reward, but at the same time they don't want to dilute their cash position, or they may not be in a position to pay rich or cash dividends. Definitely they can opt for an option of bonus shares. But having said this, let me clarify that bonus shares is not in cannot be issued in lieu of a dividend. Yes, dividend is something which a company can always decide whether it wants to declare or not to declare. That is at their discretion by the board of the directors. But having said that, there is another way by which company can go ahead and reward the shareholders without even getting their cash flows affected. In that situation, bonus shares is one of the best way where it can do so. So in short, if you want to know that when bonus shares are actually issued, let me explain to you. So what happens is that there will be certain circumstances where company may not be in a position to shell out large amount of the money or the cash outflows, or it's possible that it wants to avoid the cash outflows from their account to the shareholders account in form of paying dividend. Or it could be possible that there will be they want to retain the profits for the time being, and the market value of their share is so high that they feel that if they give the bonus shares, then that will lead to reduction in their market value. And also, in order to increase the liquidity of the stock shares and to increase the confidence of the investors, they issues the bonus shares can be issued in these circumstances. Now let me explain you how this works out. Imagine yourself, you are a shareholder of an existing company, let it be a listed company, and you hold 100 shares. Right now I am talking from the quantity perspective. When bonus shares are actually issued by a company, there will be only increase in the issued capital of the company, and there will be no payouts from the shareholders side to the company. So basically there will be no paid up share capital increase. There will be only the issued capital will undergo change. Now in this situation, what will happen is that let us assume that you are holding 100 shares, and the in terms of quantity, and if the company declares that the bonus shares are issued in the ratio of 1:1, it means that for every one share you hold, you are entitled for one extra bonus share. So in short, your 100 shares in terms of quantity will become 200 shares in terms of quantity. So your quantity of the shares will increase. But having said this, in the same example, for every 100 for the 100 shares, let's assume the total value of your 100 shares is 10,000 rupees. Okay, so that your value or your percentage of shareholding will not undergo any change. It is only that your total number of the volume of the equity shares will increase without having any change in your shareholding percentage, right? So this is what I would like to explain you in terms of bonus issue. There is also one more example which I would like to let you know. The other aspect is, let's assume that you are holding the share that of a listed company. The market value of one share is, let's assume, 5,000, say for MRF or any Iker Motors or whichever, it is very high, 5,000 or 10,000. So what happens is that if here I am focusing only on the market value, right? So any person or any public who wants to buy the shares, can they really afford to buy so much? Possibly some maybe, but not many. And even if they want to buy, then there will be very few limited number of the shares which they can buy, because the value of one equity share in terms of market price is very high. So in this situation, what companies will do is that they will come out with the option of issuing bonus shares. In this situation, what happens is that if you are holding 100 shares, that will become 200, whereas the market value of the one share, let's assume it is 5000 rupees, it will come down to almost equivalent, that is 2500. Depends on the kind of the ratio what it has been agreed upon. So if it is 1:1 ratio, so your 100 shares will increase to 200 shares, and the total the 5000 rupees, if it is a value per share, that will come down to 2500. In this situation, it will be more affordable for any shareholders to purchase the shares from the market at a lesser price. And for those shareholders who are already there, in terms of existing shareholders who have got the bonus shares, the value of the market price, once it goes up, so they will be equally getting benefited from these kind of the activities. So at the end, bonus shares or bonus issue is very beneficial for the shareholders. Next, we will try to run through what are the key highlights of the section 63 in terms of bonus shares, what needs to be kept in mind before you issue the bonus shares under the Companies Act. So first and foremost, you need to keep it in mind that whether your articles of association is authorizing the issue of the bonus shares. In case if it is not authorizing, you need to make sure that you need to suitably modify your articles in a way that it has a clause which allows a company to issue the bonus shares to its shareholders. So this is one point which you have to keep it in mind. Next, there should also not be, the company has to make sure that there is no default in terms of payment of any kind of the interest or principal, if at all it has issued any kind of the debt securities. If you have not issued debt securities, then you don't have to worry about. And also it has to ensure that there is no statutory dues failure in terms of provident fund or gratuity or bonus which has been given by the company for its employees. So these are certain prerequisites which you have to keep it in mind before you go ahead and issue bonus shares. So once if all these three prerequisites are taken care, then you can definitely go ahead and start issuing the bonus shares. So next is that the equity shares also has to be fully paid up. Yes, this is one important point. In case if your company is having any partly paid up shares, which is least likely nowadays, but if it is there, then you please go ahead and convert that into fully paid up shares. Once you are fully paid up, then you are eligible to issue bonus shares. Partly paid up shares cannot, if a company is having any partly paid up shares, then you cannot go ahead and issue the bonus shares. This is a restriction. So make sure that if you are intending to issue bonus shares, go ahead and convert it into fully paid up. Now let us understand from which accounts you can actually bonus shares can be issued, and where and all there are certain restrictions in terms of it cannot be issued. So if you want to know, understand what is the bonus shares from where it can be issued, it can be issued from any of the three sources. One is that bonus shares can be issued out of the free reserves account. It can be issued out of securities premium account. Securities premium means a company which is having a share of let's assume 10 rupees, but whereas it is being issued at a price of 20 rupees, so the excess 10 rupees will become the premium, so that amount gets accounted in the securities premium account. So you can always issue bonus shares from that respective account. And the last option is the capital redemption reserve account. Now capital redemption reserve account means it is like that preference shares will be there when they get redeemed after a certain period, say for period of after 20 years, that needs to be redeemed to the respective shareholders. So in this there will be one account will be created which is called as a capital redemption reserve account. It means that every redeemable preference shares, the company out of the profits will start allocating some part of the profit into towards the any of the preferences which has to be redeemed into the capital redemption reserve account. So bonus shares can be issued out of any one of these accounts, or either from free reserves or securities premium account, or even capital redemption account. Now bonus shares cannot be issued. Now where it cannot be issued, it cannot be issued out of the reserves which has been created out of revaluation of the assets. This is one point. Next, you cannot issue the bonuses in lieu of dividend. Let's assume that you want to give dividend, but you don't have the enough cash, so you feel that in place of dividend I can issue bonus shares. No, that is not a substitution for that. Bonus shares is altogether a separate activity where you have an option to use those as a securities. But having said that, that is cannot be a replacement to issue of a dividend. In case if you intend to give a dividend, then yes, you have to go ahead and give dividend, and also if you want a bonus share separately, that also can be done. But in case if you are not in a if a dividend you are not paying it, that is absolutely at your discretion for whatever the reasons. Having said that, bonus shares has to be treated as a separate activity. And one more point which I would like you to remember is that whenever the bonus shares has been announced and has been recommended by the board of directors, once it has been decided, you cannot withdraw that decision of not giving the bonus shares to the shareholders. This is pursuant to rule 14 of the company share capital and debenture rules. So please keep all these points in mind whenever you intend to issue the bonus shares. Now I will quickly run through some of the procedural aspects on how bonus shares is actually issued. So let us get started. As a first, you need to understand that, see, I'm sure you will get to know about the procedural aspects and all those things, but still you need to understand why it is important. So first, always you need to decide what is the quantum of the bonus shares to be issued. That is, in bonus shares, how many units or how many shares are going to get issued, because these are free shares which you want to give it to your shareholders. So please determine the quantum of the bonus shares to be issued to the existing shareholders. Once you determine that what is that the total quantity of the shares are to be issued, you know that your issued share capital will increase. Now in order to increase your issued share capital, it has to be within the limit of authorized share capital. So please check whether your authorized share capital is sufficient to issue the increased issued capital because of issue of bonus shares. If it is there, well and good. But in case if it is not there, then yes, you need to go ahead and amend your memorandum of articles by increasing your authorized share capital. Once it increases, yes, you can always go ahead and issue the bonus shares accordingly. One more important point which you have to keep it in mind is that check whether your articles of association of a company has a clause on issue of the bonus shares. This is very important, because if your articles of association itself does not have a clause, or it is silent, or it doesn't give you a scope of issuing the bonus shares, then you really cannot go ahead and issue the bonus shares under section 63. Also section 63 clearly says that it is subject to articles of association. So please ensure that your articles do cover a clause. If not, then please modify the articles, and then thereby you can of course start the activity. Now I will get into the procedural aspects in terms of what you need to do. You need to first send a notice and agenda to the board of directors, that is for holding a board meeting. In this board meeting, means notice will be either 7 days as per a regular aspects, or in case if not, then you can also call it a shorter notice. Next will be you hold the board meeting and pass the necessary resolution or recommendation in terms of issue of the bonus shares. What is the proportion you want to issue, whether it is 1:1, 2:1, or whatever as is decided, you propose. And you also propose all this in what ratio it has to be issued to the existing shareholders. Once you have decided, you also decide on the record date. Now what is record date? Record date is nothing but you decide a date as to on which date you will be taking the list of the shareholders, and as on that date, whatever the shareholders are there, they will be entitled to get the necessary bonus shares. Let's assume in case of a listed company, the shareholders keeps changing because the public buy, sell, etc. from the stock exchange, right? So you give a record date of, let's assume today is 13th June. So 15th June you keep a date, and as on 15th June, whoever are the shareholders are there as on that day, you will freeze that list of the shareholders, and those list of shareholders, they will be entitled for the bonus shares of the company. So that is one point. Next, fix the date, time, venue of the holding of the general meeting. It can be extraordinary general meeting, which is most likely, but in case if it is coming nearby to your AGM, you can also take up the agenda in the annual general meeting. So once you decide on the date of the extraordinary general meeting, date, time and venue, you issue the notice and also the necessary explanatory statement wherever required for the EGM or AGM as the case may be. Then thereafter you hold one extraordinary general meeting, or I would say you can hold a general meeting which can be either EGM or AGM, case to case basis, but preferably in case if you are not doing an AGM, then it will be an EGM. And you need to pass one ordinary resolution. When you pass an ordinary resolution for issue of the bonus shares, the same gets approved, and that will be sufficient for you to go ahead and start allotting the bonus shares. But before that, once the resolution is passed, please go ahead and file MGT 14 under the Companies Act within 30 days of passing of a resolution at the general meeting. Why this is necessary? You may know that issue of the bonus shares, or it is nothing but it's a kind of issue of the securities. You may also recollect that under section 179 there is a point on resolution 117 and 179. Reference to that, there is a resolution whichever is in relation to issue of the securities you need to file. So please go ahead and file MGT 14 based on that. Next is you also send again notice of the another board meeting and agenda and hold the board meeting. Now since you have got an approval from the shareholders, or in terms of not a resolution has been already been passed in the general meeting, you can go ahead in the board meeting and pass a resolution for allotment of the bonus shares to the shareholders as on record date in an agreed proportion ratio what has already been decided. So once this is done, you need to file form PAS3 with the regulator, that is Registrar of Companies, within 30 days of the board meeting. Now this when you file PAS3, of course you need to file with a list of the allottees, what the same procedure in terms of what you do for rights issue. The PAS3 you will give the list of all the shareholders who are entitled and also necessary information to the regulator. Thereafter update your statutory register of the members and necessary share certificates to allottees. And share certificates I am sure to be signed by 2 directors or a 1 director and CS, which I am sure you are aware of it. So this is all overall procedural aspects in terms of issue of the bonus shares. One point I would like to make you note is that in case in bonus issue, there is only the quantity of the shares which are getting increased, and the value of the shares will decrease in proportion. As I told you that if it is a 5,000 rupees is a market value per share, then it will come down to 2,500, because your total number of the volume of the shares has been increased from 100 to 200. Then obviously that will come down to that proportion. But having said that, that doesn't mean that it is going to change your shareholding percentage in any way. The value of the shares, definitely market value will increase with the change in terms of the market conditions, but when you do the bonus issue, at that time it will be equally it will be done in proportion. Bonus issue will also lead to increase in the issued capital, but it will not lead to increase in the paid up share capital. So this is what I would like to talk about bonus shares, and I am sure that you have understood this topic and also various aspects of it. And if you really like this video, please do like and share and subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell notification so you'll get the further videos. Please do leave your valuable comments so we'll come to know whether our video is really in any way helpful to you, or is there any other specific topic which you want us to do for you. So on this note, I would like to sign off. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day. Catch you soon with some other interesting video. Bye.